Once upon a time, there was a village full of freshness and peace. The townspeople's hair was gorgeous and beautiful, but the black kid didn't.
Cursed! You're a bad boy! I'm not playing with you!
The villagers hated him because he had black hair. The child was upset about it. He hated his black hair and his eyes. The child came out of the house and went into the woods in a fit of sadness. The forest was full of green, which you couldn't see in the village. Unlike what was called an ominous fox forest, it was a very beautiful place. A fox came.
Are you here to play?
The child was just stunned. Because he saw a fox in front of his eyes that was rumored to be cursed. The fox said to the child,
Let's play together.
He was scared, but he decided to play with the fox. The fox and the child roamed the forest, picked fruit, and played in the river. They became close friends. Time passed and it became a star-studded night. The child said to the fox,
I hate my hair color. It's tacky and everybody hates it.
But the sky is the same color as your hat, and it's so beautiful, isn't it?
One side of the child's mind tickled. He went to the fox forest with him every day. One day, someone shouted in a hurry among the residents.
With the curse of the fox, the chief's granddaughter is ill!
Chief's little granddaughter fell from a fever. People thought this was exactly what the fox did.
Go into the fox forest right now and find the magical herb with the power of the fox. I'll pay you enough.
But people's reaction was cold.
I'm sorry to hear that your granddaughter is sick, but
It's too dangerous. We can't go.
Chief stopped there and lamented. At that time, the little boy's voice was heard in the chief's ear.
I can do it.
It was a child with black hair. The chief looked at the child, then closed his eyes and breathed a deep sigh.
You are cursed. What can you do?
But he headed for the forest. He found all the trees and the cracks in the stones, but he couldn't see any magical herbs. A child who was so exhausted because of wandering around, decided to sit under a big tree for a while and rest.
I can't find it after all.
The child who couldn't find the herb was disappointed. Because he wanted to save the girl with the white hair who was sick. When she was young, she helped a black-haired child who was being bullied. While the child was thinking for a while, the fox was approaching to the black-haired child.
Why are you sad?
I don't think I can get what I'm trying to say.
By the way, have you lost your confidence?
I think so. Just as people say, my black hair brings me luck. It seems to be misfortune in everything I do.
The fox asked him quietly.
Do you remember the moment when the girl died with you?
I remember I was happy and thankful for her.
You were unhappy because you had black hair? Would you have such happy memories?
No.
The black-haired kid realized that the black had been anything to do with him.
Now, what can you do?
The child was straightly looking at the fox. He determined to find herbs for the girl with white hair. At that moment, there was a very bright light under the child's feet.
Oh, what is this? Look at this box. The heart was under my feet.
The fox celebrated the child with joy.
Most precious thing is to be near. Congratulations, my friend. You finally found what you want.
The child smiled brightly for the first time and hugged his best friend.
The answers, the magic herb, after all, you find these things yourself. Now, all you have to do is deliver it.
The child smiled at the fox and went to the village. Suddenly someone shouted,
It's so magical!
The cursed child came with the herb!
The chief approached the child in a hurry.
You brought it for my granddaughter?
The child nodded.
How can I believe what you brought? Aren't you the black hair?
It's me, not black hair, who found this heart. I'm not the one who was cursed, so the heart are fine too.
You wanted something from me, didn't you?
The child shook his head.
I found the heart only just for me and her. It's the gift to me.
The child said goodbye and went home. Chief and the villagers couldn't move until the child disappeared.